C4 News, America in Crisis.
Welcome back. We continue our discussion with Salt Lake County District Attorney Sim Gill, now turning our attention to excessive force. Now, Sim, as a prosecutor, where do you see the line between necessary force and excessive force?
Well, you know, it's really interesting that we talk about necessity, but in the Utah Code, we've never actually ever defined what that is. So we're forced to go back to look at the four corners of the statute that's there and see if it fits in there as a part of necessity. And the excessive force under that same analysis is that anything that would fall out of that harbor that the legislature has carved out. But that doesn't always satisfy for people, because sometimes necessity needs to be more fully articulated. So like today, our office sent out these 22 proposals to start this conversation, and we actually provide a definition where we talk about that necessity is defined, I'm paraphrasing, that there is no reasonable alternative that's available to use of force. And we start to define that. As we start to define that, then maybe we can narrow the parameters than the sort of the open-endedness that the current statute leaves in place. And excessive force, there certainly it could be the force that doesn't fall within that four safe corners of that statute, and you go beyond that. And certainly that's one way to look at it, but it is clearly an area that needs to be more clearly defined.
All right. Does there need to be a change in the way investigations of officer-involved shootings and alleged excessive force are handled?
Yeah, I think our office started out 10 years ago when nobody wanted to publish reports. We found resistance from that, the idea of sharing with transparency what happened, what the law is, and put that out there. So we led out on that. At the time that we started, there were about 4 or 6 prosecutors around the country that were doing it. And now it's majority of are going out and doing that. So that was moving the ball in that direction. We were also the ones who advocated this, the police agencies should now self-investigate. So we went up on the Hill when we helped change the law to create this idea of outside agencies coming in. So as we move that ball down, I think the next step is maybe we need to think about purely independent investigation, so there is no law enforcement agency that's tied to that. And so that would move it further down. So I think that's one part of it. The another part is that we proposed today was also giving prosecutors access to the grand jury as an investigative tool where we can put people under oath, so when people's memories fade or they don't want to cooperate, then they know that there is a penalty under oath that they're telling. So the grand jury system can serve as an investigative tool, and I think those are the directions that we need to continue to work for, that independence of investigations.
All right, we still have much more to talk to you about, and that's coming up after the break. So in addition to protesting, what steps can citizens take to change the law?